This video presents major five-finger patterns that begin on a white key. The first one we'll start with is the key of C. Easiest thing to do is locate your C pitch. That's going to occupy the bottom finger of each hand. So for the right hand, my bottom finger is the thumb. That is the lowest, it will sound the lowest pitch of the five-finger scale. And for my left hand, the lowest finger is the fifth finger because that will sound the lowest pitch of the five-finger scale. So just aligning your fingers on adjacent keys once you have those C's located and lined up an octave apart is the easiest way. And once you have all white keys adjacent to those C's going to the right, you are ready to play the five-finger scale of C major. Follow this with the C major chord, which utilizes in either hand the root, a third up, and a total of a fifth up. So it becomes these three fingers which are located in position of the five-finger set. That chord played all three pitches. Let's try that five-finger position again in each hand, and we'll follow with a chord. The other five-finger position that is exactly similar to C is one that starts on G. So if you can locate G with both hands, for simplicity right now I'm just going to show one hand. We'll use the G up here. And this occupies all of the white keys as well. So as long as the bottom finger of each hand, meaning the finger that will sound the lowest pitch, is lined up on G, then you are ready to play the G position. The chord for G is the same as well. It utilizes these three pitches, the outside pitches, along with the middle pitch. So that is. Then moving on, we have other positions that also begin on a white key. However, because of the arrangement of whole and half steps, it's important that you get that correct because it will start to involve some black keys. So for right now, let's talk about what comprises the five-finger position. I'm going to move back down to C just for a moment. So looking at these pitches, from the first pitch, the fundamental, up to the second pitch is a whole step. So we have a half step to the black key and another half step to the white, making a whole step. So the first two pitches is a whole step. Between the second and third pitch is also a whole step. Between 3 and 4, it's a half step because we have no black key in between. Pitch 4 up to 5, or finger 4 up to 5, is a whole step because of that black key in between. So when we start with a new key, for example D, the easiest thing to do is always find your fundamental pitch, line up your other fingers on adjacent white keys first. Then take a look at your hand and make sure that that same arrangement is possible. Remember, it's whole step, half step, whole step. So as you can see here, we have a whole step. Next, we need another whole step. We only have a half currently. So always adjust to the right. That means this finger needs to go up to the black key. So now we have whole step, another whole step. That puts a half step between fingers 3 and 4, and 4 to 5 is our whole step. This is the finger pattern for D major. The left hand would be similar to that. If we play this together, and the chord utilizes the same fingers with an elevated third finger on F sharp. Another key that begins and feels exactly just like D that we played is the key of A. And if I move my right hand here into the middle, you can see which keys those are. A is starting here at the bottom. And it's important on this to make sure that as your hand lines up, we find A for the bottom pitch, the fundamental, and then all of our fingers are on the white keys. We're not worried yet about black keys and how they fit. We process that by going left to right. So first, we have to have a whole step, which is from A to B. B to C is a half. We need 2 whole steps in a row. Here's our first one. The second one, we adjust, always going to the right, and that finger will go up to the C sharp. From there, we've got another half step, and then a whole step to end. So this pattern, the chord, very similar to how D major felt as well. Going on, the next 3 that are remaining to learn, we'll begin on F. Here, once again, we cover all of the white keys. F is our fundamental in the bottom of our hand. And for this, we still need the same pattern, always whole step, half, whole step. As we look at this, we've got a whole step here, F to G. G to A is another whole step. A to B, however, is too large. So as we're processing this going from left to right, we have to adjust the next one. If we adjust this one, then it changes this interval that we had already established was supposed to be a whole step. So once again, whole step between the first 2 pitches, whole step between G and A. From A to the next pitch is supposed to be a half step. So we're going to have to adjust finger 4, take it, and bring it down to a B flat. That results in B flat to C as our final whole step. The chord that we need to play occupies all of the white keys. Moving on, our next key is going to be E. As I'm moving from F here, notice that we just had the 1 flat, or the 1 black key. As we move to E, just down a step, first rule is find the E in the base, or the bottom of the hand. From there, we are on the white keys adjacent to that E. And our pattern is whole step, so that means this has to adjust to the right. Another whole step has to be here. Currently I have just a half from F sharp to G, so I'm going to adjust this finger. Now from G sharp to A is a half step, that's correct, and then A to B is a whole step. And the chord is these fingers, so that elevated 3rd finger as well. That key has 2 black keys that are utilized for E major. The final key we're going to do is the key of B. Once again, I've identified B as the lowest sounding pitch. All my other fingers are on adjacent white keys, and I'm going to adjust moving to the right as I process the whole and half step pattern. So first, from B to C is supposed to be a whole step, so I must adjust the 2nd finger, make it larger to accommodate that whole step. From the 2nd pitch to the 3rd pitch is supposed to be a whole step, so I'm on C sharp. I need to adjust to D sharp. That gives me my half step between D sharp and E. And then finally, E to F, white keys, is only a half step, so I must adjust that as well. So I'll have the pinky up on the black key. This one's a little harder to play, so feel free to move into the keys to make that easier to play. The chord involves 2 black notes. Total black notes in this key, this 5-finger position, are 3. You've got 2 here and 1 for the pinky.